Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. This week, your key to the week is the Temperance card, right? So this is your card. This is your energy. This is you shining this week. But I don't think it's necessarily just like, yay, I'm shining, or yay, I'm me. I actually think this is coming from a place where you've actually figured out what it is that you really want. And this is like, you know, like with pigeons when they align they align to the magnetic field, right? And that's how they navigate things. I'm not calling you a pigeon, by the way, but it's almost like this week, that's what I feel. It's like you find your, you know, like when you see a fish catch the slipstream, or do you know what I mean? It's like you moving into your own flow this week. And it's because you're feeling more like yourself, and that's feeding into you having a very strong sense of direction. I also feel like for a lot of you, this is you putting something right. It's like, you know, that moment where a bone, like if it's sort of out and like they snap it back into place, it's like that instant feeling of rightness. I kind of get this feeling that this whole week is going to have that kind of energy permeating it for you. I will say with the Temperance card as well, don't be surprised if you're having to mediate a situation in some way, shape or form. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your actions and options this week, you have the 9 of Pentacles, right? And look at this. So you really are having the best experience that you can possibly have this week. Along with that, for a lot of you, this is you not only aligning to your abundance, but you're aligning to what really feels right for you on that physical level. So I'll give you an example. You know, when you're about to do something and you're like, I'm not sure about this. It's not like nerves, it's something more. And you're like, no, it doesn't feel right. Whereas when you're about to do something and you're like, yeah, I feel nervous, but I'm ready. Like, you know, you just feel it in your physical body. This week, you're going to be feeling your direction in your physical body. And it looks like a lot of you are enhancing yourselves. Maybe this is an image change. Maybe this is you really looking at how you present to the world. Maybe it's rejigging a website or whatever it might be. But there's something on a very physical, aesthetic or tangible level that you are really starting to work with and to hone for yourself. So I really, really like this. For your communications and conversations, you've got the 9 of Wands. So 2 9s represents receipt. So when it comes to conversations this week, that 9 of Wands, especially with the Temperance card, that's a remedial or a healing action that needs to take place, but it's in regards to or response to something that you've said. So this week, maybe somebody says to you, oh, you know, so-and-so said you said this, and it's like you're having to take some action to rectify what somebody has kind of said that you've said, or it's almost like, what's the way that I'm trying to, the best way to explain it is, it's like something that you've said has been taken out of context, and so now you're having to address it or to put it right. But this is potentially something that has not maybe damaged your reputation, but it's made somebody else look at you in a really different way. And I kind of feel like you don't have to explain yourself to anyone, fuck that, right? But you may feel, no, I have to rectify this because I feel like somebody's, do you know what I mean? It's like you're really focused on remediating how someone sees you because of something that somebody has said that you've said completely out of context. It's like, you know, you know what I'm talking about. Like sometimes, you know, when the media edits out a whole talk, like they take out certain sections. So when you hear it, you're like, outraged. I can't believe this person said that. And then when you watch the whole thing, you're like, they never said that at all, like literally. So this might be one of those times where you're having to doctor some part of your relationship. Okay, Freudian slip, who knows, maybe. If you needed to hear that, you needed to hear that. But some part of your reputation. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this could literally be like maybe you've had an issue, or potentially you could end up having an issue either about a grade or someone saying, oh, they copied my work. You know, I hope that's not the case, but it's possible. For your, because remember the 9 of Wands is a vulnerability or an injury. And you've got this in the communications, and you've got this with the Temperance card, which is you, which tells me that somewhere it's like your reputation has or is suffering this week, and you have to put it right. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, this is one of those weeks where I kind of feel it's like, you know, and you hear about this a lot, like when someone says like, oh yeah, you know, we're going to give you a raise. So you don't say anything, you're like, excellent, I'm getting a raise, this is awesome. And then all of a sudden, like after you've been told that, your performance starts to drop and they start fabricating, oh yeah, you know, and then there was that time that you left those teaspoons out on the side after you made coffee. Right, so I'm not getting my raise because of that. Watch out for this, because I kind of feel like it's something maybe that you've been promised by a boss or a superior, and it's like they're now looking for any reason not to make this happen for you. Hold them accountable. For your business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, this could be a week where you're kind of maybe licking your wounds on the way that something has or hasn't gone so far. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It just means that you're going to need to readjust or adapt something. All right. When it comes to those of you that are retired and no longer working, this would actually be a very good week for some kind of personal development. It doesn't matter what area it is, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, emotional, spiritual, whatever it feels like in whichever space for you is the right one. For your love and relations, you've got the Four of Wands. Look at this, right? So for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, that's gorgeous. There is a lot of sensual connection here. There's a lot of love. There's a lot of real sort of compassion here as well. For those of you maybe that are in long-term commitments that have had maybe a bit of an argument, or it's been a little bit tense or whatever, this is where it all starts to come good, so don't worry about that. For those of you that are single, if you are meeting someone, you could meet them at a time where maybe you're not being represented as your best, but this person still takes they still take a shine to you. It's like, well, I don't care what other people say. And then what's going to be even more awesome about it is once they realize that somebody has basically taken what you said out of context, it's going to be like, oh, I already liked you, but now I like you even more, right? So it's great. And not only that, that for me shows the mark of somebody's maturity, and also their depth to say, well, you know what, everyone's saying this about you, but I don't care. I just like you as a person. For your money and materials, you've got the Seven of Swords. This is right. There's some lie, and I'm speaking directly to those of you that are employed by somebody else. I kind of get the feeling you've been promised something or offered something, and it's like now they're trying to back out of it, and they're trying to find any excuse not to give you this thing. Seven of Swords when it comes to money is not an easy card, is not a good card, especially with that Nine of Wands. So I am going to say, if you've already put money into something and you've been chasing it now for X amounts of time, cut your losses. I'm really sorry to say this. I hope I'm wrong, but the chances are you're not going to get it back. Let it slide, let it go. Chalk it up to experience at this point. When it comes when it comes to your physical health and vitality, your nervous system could really take a bit of a bashing this week, so look after yourself. I'm not a doctor, can't give you medical advice. When it comes to your home and environment, yeah, Seven of Swords, Nine of Wands with the Temperance card, it almost feels like a sleight of hand. And the only way that I can explain this is it's like something happens in the area, and because everybody's distracted, their homes get burgled. I hope it's not as extreme as that, but I hope that makes sense. This is a week where if you're going out, even if it's just to the shops or whatever, please lock your doors. All right, with that said, I wish you all an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.